of talk about tuition costs, tuition income actually being more than GRF money. Is that something that...
I'm not sure. I mean, I heard that from a couple people today, and I'll have to look more carefully at it. But, and maybe I just, I need to be a mathematician or something. But the fact of the matter is, since our tuition, our operational budget, which is tuition and state funding, is that in terms of purchasing power is the same as it was in 1970. Now, it may be that tuition has gone up faster than appropriations have gone down, but it's also true we have 25,000 more students today than we had in 1970. So you have to look at all of those factors in order to get a real estimate of whether tuition has, and also, by the way, the numbers don't take account of normal inflationary factors. They're not adjusted for that. So I think if you factor it all in, and also factor in union negotiated contracts where you have to increase wages under a contract, you factor all of that in, I don't believe it'll be true in the end that our tuition has gone up faster than our state support has gone down.
Are you still looking at a tuition increase for the upcoming year, though?
Well, the board is going to take up the tuition at its March 23rd meeting. They have set a policy on tuition, so I can talk to you about that. And their policy is that they don't want tuition to go up any more than the cost of living. And we have to figure out what that means. There's different price indexes to calculate. There's the higher education price index, which is specifically designed for the universities. There's the traditional CPI. So we got to figure out what that is and what to recommend to the board. But it's made a policy that tuition will not go up more than the cost of living, but it'll also take into account the savings that we're generating through the administrative review and restructuring report, and also take into account the level of state funding. So if the state funding goes down 1%, that could lead to a cost of living adjustment plus 1%.
Speaking of state funding, how much exactly are you asking for? The same amount that's in the governor's budget, more or less?
We asked through the process. I think the budget we submitted looked for more.
What happens if you don't get that?
We won't get that. The governor has come in asking for less. So if we're going to do less than we asked for, basically flat funding from last year, which was less than the year before and less than the year before that. And we haven't given a raise, so we'll be happy if the governor's budget is fulfilled. We're grateful that he asked for it.
It's $500 million, right, that you're asking.
Right.
Thank you.
Oh, that's okay. I don't mind staying another minute.
Just one more question. You talked a little bit about the report that the university has been looking for cuts, how you might expand on those cuts quite a bit. Where are you looking at?
Right now we're looking mostly at what I would call the back office, the areas like our HR operation, our IT operation, our capital plan, our office that handles capital projects and renovations. We're looking at ways to trim cost there.
How might students feel those cuts?
Well, we're looking there because they won't have they'll feel them in some ways. We may have colder temperatures. We'll have some trouble processing issues as fast as we want, but we're picking those areas first and foremost because they're business functions, and we believe we can actually improve services and efficiencies by integrating these processes across the campuses. Right now we have 4 HR offices, one for each campus. We have 4 capital programs offices. We have 4 IT operations and so on. So now we're thinking, what have we combined, integrated? We could probably increase efficiency, improve service, and actually save money. So it's not easy to do it because all the campuses like to have these operations. They've had them for a number of years, and they kind of resist not having them. But it seems to me it's important to do this.
Will those integrations mean layoffs?
I think the way we do it at universities, we roll it out it take about 3 years to implement, to get to the $60 million in savings every year. And over that time, our job is to look at how you get these savings through normal attrition. And I think we can do that.